Toys are back in town. Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry and today I'm excited, literally, I'm not even being sarcastic here, I am excited to tell you about the Lego Batman movie. In fact, I could probably just sum up this review in about 5 seconds and you can go on your way and enjoy the rest of your day. Just go see this movie. It is so much fun. Whether you are an adult who is nostalgic about growing up in the 80s and playing with Legos, or growing up in the 60s, or, I mean, this is a movie that is just for everybody. It is totally family friendly, it is totally fun, it is smart, it is witty, it's great. It's just like the Lego movie from 2014, which kind of blew my mind because I didn't realize it had been 3 years since the Lego movie, but 3 years later, we got the Lego Batman movie. So the Lego Batman movie is more of a spin-off than a sequel. At this time, they're focusing specifically on Batman. Will Arnett is still doing the voice just like last time, and it's still hilarious to listen to him. It's like this is the role he was born to play. And it's focusing on his loneliness. This is about Batman needing a new family. And that's kind of the undergirding theme, while on the surface, he's trying to thwart a plan by the Joker, which involves opening up the Phantom Zone and bringing up a whole lot of pop culture bad guys to fight Batman that you wouldn't expect. One thing to keep in mind with this movie, and this is one of the things I love about this movie and just kind of the Lego movie franchise in general, is that they aren't limited to just the Batman characters or even just the DC characters, because one of the things they're trying to do is they're trying to open up the Phantom Zone, which, if you know, that's a Superman thing, right? Phantom Zone is where General Zod was. And so the plan from the Joker is to open up the Phantom Zone and bring in all these other pop culture bad guys to fight against Batman and, you know, overthrow him and all this kind of thing. Superman's involved, you know, other characters. I'm going to be intentionally vague because part of the fun of this movie is seeing everyone that gets brought on board. And there are tons of surprises and they are a riot. So once again, simple version, just go see this movie. You're just going to love it. One of the things that results from this style, this whole kind of emptying out the toy box kind of style, is that the movie is very chaotic. It's very off the wall, everything but the kitchen sink type of thing. But that makes it feel like playing with the toys as a kid. And the director, McKay, he understands that his characters are toys. We're not really watching a Batman movie per se. We're watching a movie about Legos. We're watching a movie about toys. And one of the things that is so fun about this, was fun about the Lego movie and is doubly fun this time around, is that watching the movie, it feels like they've captured the whole spirit of what it was like to play with all of your toys as a kid. Because as a kid, it didn't matter whether it was, you know, G.I. Joe or Star Wars or Transformers, you just mix them all up together. You know, you could play with them individually or you could kind of have overlap. And that's kind of one of the fun things about this movie, is that there's a lot of overlap. Of course, the sense of humor is hilarious. It's very, very witty. This is the kind of movie that when this comes out on Blu-ray in a few months, or whether we see it on, you know, streaming or whatever, you're going to sit there with the pause button because there are so many jokes upon jokes upon jokes and layers that you're going to want to stop and make sure that you catch everything, which you would think might be kind of a deterrent to small children, because most of these jokes, most of these satirical in-jokes, pop culture references, the kids aren't going to grasp them at all. They're not going to miss this stuff. But the movie is still so much fun and still so funny that it's hard to think of an age group that wouldn't just have a total blast with this film. One of the great things about the Lego Batman movie, just again like the Lego movie before it, was that it comes out at a time of year where we really, really need something like this. January and February are just the months where you're getting a lot of the leftover stuff that wasn't good enough from the year before. They're not really the Oscar prestige movies. They're not the holiday movies, but it's too early for the summer blockbuster season to start. And so having a movie that is this fun and that is this well done and this genuine come out in February is so perfect. And you really, really wish that they would just make one of these movies every single year. Of course, who knows, maybe that would overdo it and maybe every 3 years is just perfect, but this movie just felt like a breath of fresh air, and I think you'll feel the same way. Another thing that occurred to me as I was watching the Lego Batman movie was that, of course, Batman and, you know, in this franchise, this is all part of the DC universe. And DC, as we've talked about in these videos and you've heard all over the place and read all over the internet everywhere else, is that DC is really still trying to kind of figure out what to make of their comic book franchises. And, and some people like them just fine, and they hate Marvel because they think that, not everything has to be like Marvel, and I agree. I don't think everything has to be like Marvel. But as I was watching the Lego Batman movie, I was thinking, I really wish that there was a way for the people making the standard, the straight DC movies, the serious ones, to inject some of the same enthusiasm and joy and fun that is so apparent with the Lego movie franchise. And because not that it has to be lighthearted, not that it has to be silly, not that it has to be goofy, but there is an energy to these Lego movies. And we're talking about superheroes here. We're talking about comic book characters. This is supposed to be fun. And they can be dark. The Christopher Nolan movies, absolutely, they were dark, but they were still energetic, and there was still kind of a power to them. And that's something that I think that the DC movies haven't quite grasped onto yet. And I think if there was a way to just maybe just get a little pinch of that and work that in there, I think that might be one of the things that will kind of get them the critical acclaim, which obviously is the most important thing, right? So the Lego Batman movie, totally recommend it. It drags a little bit about 2/3 of the way through. It gets off to this awesome, fun start. Drags a little bit as they get into the story, which, like I said, is actually kind of about Batman kind of overcoming his loneliness, but it's really funny. So I can't really, I'm going to call this one a 3.5 stars, because I really want to call it 4. I'm still trying to bring myself to justify it. So maybe my loyal and skillful editor will just go ahead and put 4 stars, and he'll take command of the show. But as far as rating is concerned, as you'd imagine, the Lego Batman movies, it's rated PG. It's not, a total G-rated thing. There's some crazy action violence and some potty humor. There's really, there's not a whole lot of anything in terms of offensive content here, but it's still the kind of movie that, you pretty much still have to slap a PG on it. But I think most audiences will find this one completely entertaining and not off-putting whatsoever. So thanks once again for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And if you want to know the moment that the new videos are out, make sure to keep your notifications on. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Rockagator, makers of fine waterproof backpacks, for their support. And we'll see you next time.